Aloha, Global Galactic Cosmic Celestial Fam. Cosmic Love here. Just dropping in for a little LoveStream check-in with the fam. Aloha, Carrie. Yeah, just a little tune in, sitting in this beautiful marsh, the crystal corridor, the crystal islands of creation. And so we're tuning in for a little cosmic love check-in. Nice to see you, Carrie. And just taking a moment to say, if you think this love stream is going to be inspiring, please share it out to your beautiful circles. And let's take a moment to just do a check-in right now. Aloha, Cassiopeia, and we see Ashanti Love's beautiful little icon popping up. Aloha, Ashanti Love. Aloha, Valerie. Aloha, beautiful cosmic fam. Love you so much. We're sitting in the marshes here. We had a really cool experience the other miracle day, and seeing all these beautiful faces dropping in. It's so beautiful to be here together and play and see where we're at. And we've got a little bit of sharing to do. We've had miraculous downloads coming through, and if you think this love stream might be helpful or inspiring, please share it. Invite a watch party to start so we can build some momentum again with the transmissions and the beautiful container that we Golden Pod are creating on the beautiful earth together. The Golden Pod is all the human family. It is our birthright, our golden seed of creation, our original cosmic seed with source consciousness emanating through us. We see, oh, look who, Mary, Wings of Faith. We have Wings of Faith on with us now too. Our Golden Pod that did the online 4-week retreats that we did through November and December all took new names, and it's been really beautiful to witness that profound transformation in each cosmic being as the cosmic beings within us take on new names. Mayinka, welcome. So good to see we. Aloha, universal love. Love we so much. So we're going to drop in a little bit about the energies and attunements. We're going to keep offering some miracle meditations coming through. A lot of people who have been following the 9:11 p.m. Meditations we've been offering here on Turtle Island have been writing and saying that during the meditations they go into dream state. So the transmission meditations that we have been sharing here on Facebook bring us into the alpha gamma state, and that is the state of non-resistance where we can receive our own pure source cosmic downloads. Aloha, Scotty One Love. Love we so much. The transmissions help us to get into that cosmic state so that we can receive our personal cosmic downloads with source, and we can fly into the supernatural experiences that are unfolding. We can embrace them and trust them. So we have been talking a lot about the Celestine prophecies lately, and if this love stream is inspiring, please share it out, and let's start a little watch party here with our cosmic fam and share it about the Celestine prophecies. One of the things that's spoken in the Celestine prophecies is to begin to observe the unusual, the supernatural showing up in our world. And one of the things that we Cosmic Love has been sharing recently is the beautiful big shell that appeared on the beach on the January 11th morning transmission we were sharing. So as we were walking in this beautiful, miraculous marsh the other miracle day, and we were having a little drop-in with dear Josh Passmore, star brother, star being, as Josh was speaking and we were listening and we were walking through the marsh, there was a hummingbird in the tree, and we just put our hand up and gave energy to the beautiful hummingbird and acknowledged the hummingbird, and then kept walking. And miracle seconds later, the hummingbird flew right in front of Wee's face and hovered there for at least 30 miracle seconds, right like a foot in front of Wee's face, and then darted around a bit and did some dancing, and then came back again and just made this incredible communion with Wee. And then we passed a heron in the marsh that was definitely 5 feet tall. And when we are experiencing these things, we are experiencing them not from the realm of the usual. There is something unique that these experiences are expressing. So begin to make note of the cosmic light, which is unique and it's different than what we see with our human eyes. Our human eyes see a very limited spectrum of light. So as our heart opens, and we shared this awesome heart meditation the other night to unify with the geometry of the twin ray. We're going to talk about geometries a bit. We're going to talk about the gene that is being illuminated by the sun. Aloha Alicia, aloha Kathy. Yay, cosmic love. So good to see we. If this love stream is inspiring, please share it, and we invite we to start a watch party. Okay, so the transmission we can feel is starting to take off. It's so fun. And so yeah, our eyes see with such a limited spectrum of light. So just be aware of the uniqueness and of unique things that are showing up. For example, last miracle night, we were sitting in the studio with Star Brother Universal Love, and we were doing some collaborations, and we went into the main house to use the restroom, and while walking back to the studio, a skunk appeared. Literally, once again, it was one of these moments. It was an interdimensional moment where we were walking along the path and the skunk appeared in front of we, and it ran into the garage, which was really fun. So we looked up well, we were just communicating, telepathing with the skunk and communicating because it had gone into a little hiding place in the garage. We looked up the skunk medicine, and it said skunk medicine was about intuition and confidence, that the skunk doesn't assert itself by being pushy or aggressive or loud. The skunk just knows its self-worth, and this is kind of where we're at now, because the universe has pretty much knocked the wind out of the egoic aspects of all of we, and so we can start to come into this more gentle, soft, tender expression of who we are, the essence of who each of us be. Freedom, love. We love we, freedom, love, on we's way to Turtle Island, blowing the conch from the shores of Hawaii as we take off. We're so gracious filled. So yeah, as the universe has done its great gifts to support us to knock the wind out of the sails of the ego, we are moving into a new kind of communication, new kind of place. Morgan Lee has been making some great posts, just sharing how she's feeling right now, like really empty, meaningless, being in that place. So we did a post this morning, and it was about the sixth initiation called communion, which is part of how we ascend into our birthright. And communion is about imbibing at the altar of the Christ. And so when we imbibe at the altar of the Christ, all of our dreams and our wishes and everything that we have known ourselves to be begins to dissolve away. And so it can feel like a very interesting and unique place. And we feel to just do a little pan of the marsh and just breathe into that for a miracle. Just be with nature for a while. Because nature has this remarkable way of not having that egoic blueprint, and nature works in a gentle way even when those masses, we call them forces of nature, but I like to call them powers of nature, even when the massive powers of nature are flowing through, there is this place of stillness at the center, and that's what's coming through. So a lot of people are going now, because the alignments that we had through this full ego dissolution now, and it might feel like a strange place. It's all right. It's okay. Trust it. Many on the planet have already been through it. So there's many here to handhold and assist and help. And that's the beauty of our global cosmic galactic family rising up as one. So we, as the Western world, celebrate the Roman Greco calendar, and we celebrate New Year's Eve as December 31st. And the thing about the Roman Greco calendar is that it's not connected to any natural cycles of the cosmos. So cool that there's a hummingbird hovering right there, tuning in with me. Okay, it's so cool. The magic of nature. So if this love stream is inspiring, please share it, and let's keep our whole global family just moving together in these alignments and smoothly paddling our collective canoe. So we were talking about the New Year's at the end of the Roman Greco calendar, and it's very significant to understand that inside of our genes, the 64 codons of the human DNA that we are transcending out of, the sun moves through those genes like a clock. Aloha Annette, aloha Kathy, aloha Pia, aloha Tara. Love we all so much. If this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. Let's help share these transmissions to help our cosmic family to align in the transformation that we are experiencing. So back to human design and the gene keys. The I Ching shows that the sun moves through the 64 codons like a clock. And so the true end of the new year, or the true end of the year inside of the cosmic clock of our genes, is actually January 20. That's actually the first day, January 20, 2020. And so we are in these, we're in the final codons right now rather than the beginning, which is why a lot of people naturally feel confused. They're judging from the place of their 3D Western mind, saying, I should be doing something. I thought I would have more clarity by now, all these kinds of things. But actually, we're at the end of the cycle according to the sun and the cosmos and our human genetics that we are transcending out of as our DNA is lighting up. This is so significant because as humans, especially of the Western world, we've tried to fit our mind into a clock that is not connected to nature or the structure of who we are. Therefore, it creates a lot of delusion, a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion inside of us when we're really affected by the power of our mind, when we're affected by cycles and teachings and indoctrinations of a world that we're moving beyond now. We can be very affected by the mind, and the mind telling us there's something wrong here. So what we invite right now, we're going to be sharing some more meditation transmissions, and beautiful Star Brother Universal Love has been loading all of them up, all the transmissions up onto our YouTube Unity Transmissions channel as well. and we divided the last transmission we did. Universal Love divided it so that you can listen to the whole transmission or on YouTube, or you can just go straight to the meditation. So we're going to keep sharing meditations that help to bring us into that gamma alpha state, where we can go through the easiest assimilation of what's occurring without too much mental stuff going on. But these two genes right now at the end of the clock, the 61st gene is activated right now by the sun. Even though we burned the book on two-strand DNA, we're going back to assist all of we to understand what is occurring. And so the shadow of that gene is called psychosis. And really what psychosis is just the gene that has all the archetypal qualities of the human archetypes within it. So in the shadow frequency, it's going to feel a lot of chaos because it's feeling every single archetype of what it means to be human in two-strand DNA. So if we are finding ourselves in any kind of conundrum where we're trying to, force ourselves to be doing something when really we just want to be going within, we want to be cocooning and all of these things, they are actually the natural things that should be occurring inside of us. Aloha Deborah, aloha Lori, aloha Michelle, aloha Lawrence, love you so much. So it is very natural right now. In fact, not only natural, but this is the perfect time to just take miracle spaciousness to assess. Even though time isn't real and doesn't exist, we're still coming out of time cycles as we're moving into quantum. So this is the perfect time to assess what worked, what didn't, where the support was, where we're going to be creating our foundation from, what kind of quantum leaping we really want to be doing as we move forth into the activation of the sun activating the 41st gene, which is the start codon. The thing about the cycle of the 64 codons is we don't have to stay inside of the 64 codons of DNA. This is a very significant piece. So something significant to understand about the sun being in the 61st gene. The 61st gene is about coming into alignment with all of the geometries of all of the subtle bodies of who we are. It's kind of like that Russian doll thing, like getting them all lined up. And we have the potential to be doing this right now when we remember that this is actually the time of, it's the conclusion of. So it's a time of stilling rather than a time of chaos and busyness and I should be doing, which some people might feel. Other people right now might feel like they are going through a complete dissolution of who they know themselves to be, which is also natural. We did a post this morning on this, on the sixth communion, the imbibing at the altar of the Christos. We always like to say Christos instead of Christ. And that's when all of our dreams, it's basically ego dissolution. Our dreams, our desires, our wants, all of the things that have run from the lower three chakras start to dissolve away, so that it's kind of like, you can't move into your light ship until you unbuckle the seatbelt from the airplane that we're in or the car that we're driving. So this is the unbuckling of. And so some people go like, I feel like I'm losing my mind. I've had people write me and say, am I losing my mind? And I'm like, congratulations, if you are. It's called boundlessness, which is the 35th gene, the CD of the 35th gene. So just be gentle, navigate, find resources that are helpful. Don't go into too many resources. Keep finding the still point within, navigating ourselves gently. This is a time of co-creation and collaboration because we came to navigate this here together as a human fam. If this love stream is inspiring, please share it. Streaming love. Aloha, aloha Jane Dixon, aloha John Kennedy. Maybe start a watch party. Oh, and let's start the hashtag that's out of everything in the love stream. We've been doing a lot of hashtagging lately and really inviting the hashtagging because it's creating a new language. in the space between the words of the transmissions. When there's pieces that stand out for we in the love streams, just hashtag them, because we're getting a whole new communion going here, which is another shortcut. So back to the 61st gene, and what Ra-Ru says about the cosmic clock at this time is that this is the time for assessing, and also to understand that it's this time of coming into alignment with all the geometries of the subtle body. So once again, it would be kind of like pulling layers of a costume in. That's what we're accessing. If we can make those handholds, make friends with all the various subtle bodies that we're in. The physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, the causal body, the Buddhic body, the atmic body, the monadic body. We can bring it all in. And when we do bring it in, even if just for a miracle, we are the walking embodied Christos. It's coming in. And so we have these moments, or we see these moments gleaming through the eyes of another, and we go, what's that? That is the Christos within that is activating in our collective human consciousness through our physical bodies. One thing we have been sharing is that this year we feel more physically embodied than we have felt in all of we's life in this journey. We's consciousness has been very cosmic, and we have mostly felt very not connected into the physical in this journey, and there is a purpose for that, to access the cosmic and bring it through and translate it for the collective. And so this year has been about, for all of us, coming into the body, all of the challenges each one of us experienced. Take nothing personal. It wasn't personal. We were all here to assist each other. However we felt the triggers occurring, there is nothing personal going on here. This is a very important piece. Let everything go. We mentioned that we posted from an interview with Todd Medina the other day, and we forget the beautiful man's name again, but he's the one who shared the sphenoid process to recalibrate the sphenoid, and he said through this alignment that 5.86 billion walk-ins just came in. So that's a lot of walk-ins to bring assistance to. Aloha, Awan. So when we just continually are nourishing ourselves to come back to center, this is the most significant process. We always used to say to the universe, like, when caterpillars are turning into butterflies, they get to just hang out in their cocoons. How are we going to do this in this world that we're living in, this Nike just do? How are we going to rest into our cocoons to do this process? And so it's like we have all created enough spaciousness for ourselves to do it. Even if our programs say that we haven't, go to that spaciousness that we have created, because the spaciousness resides within. If we have a busy life, we can use whatever tools we have, cross the ankles, cross the wrists, clasp the hands, close the eyes, deep breathe, all these simple tools, place the hands on the heart, rock ourselves for a few miracles, just keep coming into this place. Now, the 61st gene about geometries is about thought forms in the field. The thought forms are the field of creation and in a shadow frequency in the human two-strand DNA. The thought forms create psychosis, because it's like being in the middle of an ocean with waves coming from all directions, because thought forms create fields, ripples. And so those thought forms that are creating ripples, now we've been practicing our self-perfection so that we're not affected by the thought forms anymore, because we're leaving all these thought forms of the double helix behind, and we're moving into something so much more. And we can feel it in our hearts, we can feel it in our connection together, which is another reason why community is key. Whether it's our community online or a community in person, just community is key. Community can be someone at the store, a cashier. If we feel like we need to connect, the human connection right now, it's very important and very profound, because guaranteed someone in the human connection is going to be able to assist us if we need to navigate ourselves, if we're feeling stuck, or we're feeling this inertia, or we're feeling fear, or whatever we might be feeling. Because when the sun is in the 61st gene, it's kind of like the final challenge, you could say, of the navigating of you and me to recognize that this field is merely a field of thought forms, and there's nothing personal going on here. So learning to navigate thought forms, because as Richard points out, thought forms attract and they repel. So if we have been closing our doors on everything and everyone, thinking that is the high spiritual answer to our ascension, we might find right now we are feeling very alone, very trapped, because we are trapped alone with the thought forms. It was never about slamming the doors on each other. It was about learning to navigate ourselves in the presence with each other together through these fields of chaotic thought forms that we have been coming to a completion with, that have been out in the field by completing them in ourselves. As Richard says, as we just said, thought forms attract and repel. So when we start to go, oh my gosh, I'm just a body of water, and it was never anything outside of myself. My body of water was just floating in that same sea of thought fields, of chaos and ancestral wounding and all those things that we've all healed. So if we have successfully navigated, we will find right now within ourselves that we are very fulfilled and very still. And we are feeling the super abundant energy of communion with everyone and everything. Ra Uru says that this time is the time when we make that spiritual assessment at the end of the cosmic clock according to human design. So the assessment is, did my purpose line up with my spirit or my spiritual? Am I coming more embodied? Am I succeeding at the objective here, which is to bring my spirit into my form fully, so that my spirit knows how to turn on the codons to create ascension in the body? And the spirit has to come into the form. So back to the imbibing at the altar. And if this love stream is supportive or inspiring, please share it, because that's called gifting. So if we have been doing this process of navigating these thought forms inside of ourselves, we are getting that strong sense that there is something really beautiful happening in ourselves. We might find when we're closing our eyes, we are seeing massive fields of light and all of our cells going off. And that's exactly what's happening, because after the 61st gene comes the 60th gene, the one that we always talk about. Guidance said we were here to support the activation of the 35th gene, unconditional love, the shortcut out, and the 60th gene. When the 60th CD ignites in multiple beings, it will be the end of the world as we know it, and Gaia and the cells that make up her consciousness will move forth into a new reality. So that's why the 60th gene comes at the end, because the universe, the cosmos is going, did the collective quantumly make a leap? So we are continuing this week to share meditations. 9/11 seems to be the time in the evening. Many people are writing me and they're saying, wow, I feel like I'm falling asleep. But we don't use that word, falling asleep. We like to say you're going into a state of alpha gamma, where your higher self, your over self, whatever you want to call your mighty I am, whatever words you use, the divine, is coming in when the body is in complete relaxation, because that's when the sacred bodies come in. And that ties us back to these geometries that Richard speaks about with the 61st gene. When all the geometries align perfectly, we become the Christ, the Christos. He talks about how miracles came through Jesus. We like to say Yeshua. how miracles and many others, how miracles come through us when all of the geometries line up, because just like a Qigong master, who, didn't get the name of the Christ, the Qigong master says to all of his students, like, go ahead, push me over. Just, I am the mountain, all of you go ahead and push me over. And the group tries to push the Qigong master over, and they can't, because all of the geometries of the subtle bodies are lined up. That's what the transmissions in the evening that we have been sharing are assisting us to do. They are assisting us to go into alpha gamma when the body is in total relaxation. That's part of the 40th gene, divine will. Then the higher subtle bodies can come through. So if you've participated in any of the meditations and they're inspiring, please share them out. We invite you to keep listening to them. We're going to keep sharing them along. And we're just looking at all these comments, and hashtag this out of all the love streams, because that's really helpful too. So that's where we are. And according to the sun and the I Ching and the gene keys and the Roman Greco calendar and how all those things come together, Thursday night at like 5:30 p.m. is when the sun moves into the 60th gene. So we invite we to all rock this together to create a unified field together of cosmic quantum love, to be in the meditation together, and to experience what others are, what we're all experiencing in these meditation transmissions that we've been sharing, and to really align with cosmic love, which is all of those geometries perfectly aligned in our body vehicles, in our aura. Remember, the body is not, the spirit is not inside the body. The body is inside of the spirit. So we're getting everything lined up. And let's see, was there anything else for sharing? So yeah, we will offer another beautiful meditation in the miracle coordinate tonight. If you didn't see the twin ray geometry one, you might want to tune into that. Universal love, beautiful star brother universal love. Uploaded that to our YouTube page, so you can just go directly to the meditation part, or listen to the whole LoveStream if you like, which is on Facebook as well. And yeah, and once again, for anyone who might be feeling, because we're noticing posts on Facebook where some people are saying that they're feeling like really lost and empty and all of that, it's a natural part of the process. That's part of the 6th initiation called communion, where the lower 3 chakras begin to ascend into a cosmic pillar of light, and light the central channel of the physical body up. So that is really when we are completing our walk in 2-strand DNA. We're completing our human journey, and we're moving on to greater things. And it can feel, so confusing, and it can be a time of grief, going, but what about this, and what about that, and I wanted this, and I wanted that. So we might find resistance inside of the self, but, in all miracle truth, resistance is futile when it comes to us and our higher selves, which have all of the coordinates for what we plan to create together in cosmic love. And we're right on track. And it's just like when we took swimming lessons when maybe we were like 4 years old, and we were a little bit afraid to jump into the pool, and the swimming instructor might have stepped on our fingers. That's what happened for we in the middle of the cold prairie winter in a swimming pool at like 5:30 a.m. So, but we'll let that memory go now. It's just a metaphor to say that it can feel that way. It's kind of funny. And it's okay to just release, keep tuning in with other members of our Global Galactic Cosmic Celestial family. Be transparent with what we're feeling. There is no value in pretending right now, and putting a face on of something that we're not, which is also why people might be feeling a sense of stagnation or a sense of frustration or upset within themselves for how they've been living, because at the end of the cosmic clock, the 61st gene, this is the time to make that evaluation so that we can make the shifts if we are still moving inside the 64 codon clock. We make the shifts, just be real, be transparent, do whatever we need to do, make those leaps. It's okay. The Hopi prophecy said at this time, men and women would tend to live apart. It's because we're finding our sovereignty, and the invitation is just don't slam any doors on anyone, because it's actually the thought forms that we are feeling and we are projecting onto each other when we slam the doors. And it is much more easeful to remain together in the medicine together wherever we might be triggered, so that we can resolve those thought forms within us rather than feeling like it is something outside of us that is attacking us or bad or wrong. We just start to paint ourselves into a very lonely corner. It's programmed in the genes. If we are not transparent and we are trying to hide with our pain or our discomfort or our judgment or our projections, it becomes harder and harder to be inside of the body. And that's just a natural component of evolution to direct us in the right way, in the proper path, so that we can all be successful at our physical ascension. And it's a really beautiful miracle coordinate alignment that we are in. So bravo, beautiful collective cosmic family. And we love we so much, and we love and so appreciate everyone that's been participating in the transmissions. You might want to go back and see some of the transmissions through the Saturn-Pluto alignments, etc. They're extremely profound. And we are decoding ourselves out of a binary system inside of ourselves. And keep in mind that many cultures on the planet, the Kalahari Bushmen, the Australian Indigenous, and so on, they never had these binary systems inside of their cells. They never had certain pieces of themselves turned on and off. And we're all operating in these different planes of existence. And so there's sort of collective soul groups moving together. And that has to do with the root races, which is all spoken of in the 55th gene. And Chango shared a really epic video with we yesterday. Mr. Chango, if you're watching this, maybe you could tag it here. It's very cool. And it made a lot of sense about a lot of pieces that are coming through. So we love we so much. Thank we for tuning in. Thank we for sharing out the LoveStream. And if you're inspired to share, please share it. That's called gifting. And let's keep flowing along together. And we are also doing something new that we haven't been doing, which is because a lot of people have actually been writing to we asking how they can contribute to support the LoveStreams financially. And so it has been my resistance to respond to that. But I'm not going to resist that anymore. So that's just part of the superabundance of being in our gifting and on purpose. And so I will place a PayPal link on here as well. And to all of the beautiful people that have been just creating this container with we. It means it's beyond my expression to say how profound it is to see that our human family is ready to receive the coordinates of our birthright and to receive them collectively together. And every single one of us who is on purpose knows that when we are holding a sacred message and it's not ready to be received, it feels difficult. And to see that the human family is ready to receive these transmissions in a new level, in a new way, to receive them collectively, not individually, but collectively, so that we can go all the way together and take this quantum leap in the 60th gene, like really have experiences that are interstellar quantum together, and begin to watch the ripples in the field. We guarantee, because we have watched portals open before we's eyes many times in our work on the song lines, and it just all of a sudden happens. That's the thing. The mind doesn't know. This little hummingbird is just really hanging out here tuning in. It's so amazing. We love you so much. It's making me so happy. Yeah, we have experienced this many times. We came back to help unlock the super abundance in the consciousness, which is to help the consciousness unlock itself from its belief that it is bound by time and gravity, which is the 60th gene. And we are excited for many of us to begin to see the portals and the ripples of the stargates opening before we's eyes, together, collectively, collective ascension, the 60th gene. So, and to the people that have been sharing everything with we just want to say, because the 61st gene, as Ra Ru said, it's a time of really tuning in and assessing what worked, what didn't, where was the support, and so for we are very inspired to say that we have been so supported in this cosmic cycle, this 64 codon, sun around the 64 codon cycle, by so many beings on the earth plane in undescribable, describable ways. We have been offered just everything, homes and places to stay, beautiful places to stay, and super abundant support in every way. And our golden pod that has been, Aloha St. Grace, our golden pod that has been in the last 2 4-week online retreats that we did in November and December, have been lighting up we's life in the most profound ways, really holding the container. And to witness 12 people around the one of the Unity transmission all take new names for themselves, beautiful names like Purple Melody Flower and Wings of Faith and Ashanti Love and Ciel Symphonique and Communio de l'Amour, and what else do we have? We have Aurora Love and the pod is Angelic Love, and these are all names our pod has been taking. And love to see them all hashtagged here, to witness. I'm just going through in my little miracle mind which other names Streaming Love and Crystal Waters and Susan. What name did Susan take? Okay, so doing pretty good with our pod's names. And Miss Susan, what name did you take? Eternal Joy. Thank you. All these, so to witness our golden pod all take these new names for themselves, change their names on our WhatsApp group, refer to each other by the names, go out in the public, announce their new names, and witness this transformation. And there is so much streaming in our golden pod. It's like we get on our app in the morning and there's like 100 messages, 13 people in a WhatsApp chat, because we aligned with cosmic love. We put unity at center, meaning a transmission that knows how to unify, and it has unlocked the super abundance of our pod, and we want to share that in a greater way with the collective. And we just love we so much. We know this is the way to unlock these codes and coordinates inside of ourselves. And so once again, I'm going to put the PayPal, peace, love, and miracles, @gmail.com, for all the people who keep asking because they want to send along little donations. The guidance always said the Living Library would be funded on $1 donations, and what we actually feel that means is each person like donating themselves. Like if we were to come to these love streams and meditations and go, I'm just going to tag one other person I think would love to see these love streams, to me that is the $1 donation, obviously way beyond $1, but a donation of a gift, of a transmission that is helping us to understand, navigate, and unlock. So maybe we could make that promise in the next love stream. Each one of we, or at the end of this, each one of we share it with one person that we think it might help, or more, or groups that we're on Facebook, etc., to just keep helping all of us unlock these codes of true superabundance, which is unlocking ourselves, unlocking the codes inside of the DNA. It's real. We're navigating our spirit inside to our physical body, unlocking our 9-arc Merkaba, and here we go. So there was one, lucidity. All right, we keep meaning to talk about lucidity in the love streams, in the completion. Lucidity Festival, the dates, Universal Love, can you just type them in there? It's in April, probably the second weekend in April. We will be at Lucidity with our Golden Pod. Universal Love will be doing a DJ set, and our pod will be creating, also we are doing the 2-hour opening on the stage of the water realm at Lucidity, and it is going to be an incredible collaboration. We've had visions of blowing the conch shell from the Chumash lands and looking out to what we call the Mirage Islands and seeing creation, the creation story in a whole new way, erasing that way that the ships ever came in on the sea from a place called Spain or wherever. We are creating a new story. It's coming through our music, our collaborations, the storytelling that's coming through us. We're going to be doing lots of gatherings. Chumash, our dear brother Chumash, Dennis Romero, he's doing amazing Instagram posts every day. And Freedom Love was gifted an incredible conch shell. Like, talk about miraculous, on her way from Lemuria, the Hawaiian Islands, coming home to Turtle Island, to the shores of the Rainbow Lands. And so we will be at Lucidity. We invite we to plan to join we at Lucidity to create miraculous creations together, to dance in our unicorn onesies, to celebrate that we did it. 2020 is our celebration. So take a look at Lucidity. Maybe someone can put the Lucidity link on there, get your tickets, and or put your hand out to volunteer, be on the build crew, or whatever. There's many ways to participate, and we are creating magic and miracles, and we are singing the song lines awake from the eternal memory of source creation, the great I am, the miracle of cosmic love, the miracle of now. And it is our miracle to be super creative and celebrate in divine union, which means inside of us. And then all the great things start to unfold. Divine union, cosmic love. So we love we so much. We are an epic golden pod. Thank we for staying with we this beautiful transmission and sharing. Cassiopeia, thank you for putting the Lucidity link on here. And Shambhala, thanks for tuning in. And we breathe together, and we'll do a 9/11 meditation tonight. Miracle, if you feel to join, and invite your friends, and be ready to go into our gamma alpha again, and let's start sharing the experiences we're having. I'm getting so many amazing messages from people about visions they're having and dreams they're having, and we're all together in the dreams, and we're this is the dancing awake. of the fifth world, according to the Hopi. It's calendar of the sixth sun, according to Jose Federico, who is the carrier of the calendar of the sixth sun. John Kennedy, we thank John Kennedy just sent a beautiful contribution to we. What a beautiful thing to see pop up while we're on this love stream. Thank we Golden Pod. We are doing this together, holding hands in celebration, no one left behind. And we did it for Cosmic Love. Cassiopeia, you rock. Cassiopeia put April 12th to the 14th for lucidity. So let's get on our unicorn onesies and our pure energy love and dance and celebrate and hug and bring our unified fields of our chestahedrons together. And we are so excited to share with we the ripples that we can create in the fabric of time-space together and walk right through, because we've done it and it's real and we're doing it together in cosmic love. So this love stream was inspiring. Please share it, and we love we so much. And that little hummingbird has sat here the entire miracle coordinate love stream with we. We are going to go over and spend some miracles. Oh, there's like 3 birds in that tree, and they're all different birds. And just as we're talking about it, this little bird is moving closer to the hummingbird. They're like 6 inches apart. Love we so much. Aloha, Golden Pod. Mwah.